Hey guys, today I have for you another one of my What Shade Am I videos in my series on helping you find your best shade match in whatever foundation that particular video is talking about. So today the video is about the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And before I get into it, this video is part of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge that I set for myself. That was a bit ambitious. It's going to be more like 15 videos in 30 days. But if you're not aware, YouTube announced that channels under 1,000 subscribers are not going to be eligible for monetization after February 20th. So right now I'm about 815 subscribers, I believe. So if you like this type of video or would like to see more videos like this in the future, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button and help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by February 20th. Okay, starting off with the Sephora website, this is the product page for the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And as you can see, it is $49. I don't know if it's a full ounce, but anyway, that is the price. And a couple things I wanted to show you on this page. So if we go over to the far left here, that is a picture of the bottle. It has a pump. There's a little video there that you can watch. And here are all the shades laid out on arms of 4 different skin types. So you have light, medium, I believe they call this medium dark, and then dark. And you have the particular foundation shade matched to a model. So you can see the before and after. You have that little swatch down there. It has the shade name and the description. And then that is a picture of the product. So as you can see, there are, I believe, 33 shades here. And they all have a name, and then they have a descriptor like light 1. If we go down here, this is medium 6, and then medium dark, and dark. And they also have additional description here. So it's in the light category and it has yellow undertones. This, for example, is pink undertones. This is light to medium with yellow undertones, etc. So that's helpful. I always appreciate it when they have more than just a generic name like Fiji, because that doesn't tell you exactly what color that foundation is going to be. But if you're like me, I am typically the first or second shade in a foundation, and so I could be fair with pink undertones. You can see here, this is actually my shade, which I'll explain more in a minute, but this is light with pink undertones, so a lot of times the shade I will select will be fair and not light. This is light with peach undertones, light with yellow, so the purpose of this video is to really help you narrow down between kind of a shade range like this. And if we scroll down, I also wanted to show you a couple charts they had here. So if you already know your Radiant Concealer shade, you can kind of work backwards from there. So I know that I use vanilla in the concealer, so I would probably be Mont Blanc in the foundation, which is what was also highlighted in that previous screen. So that is one way to find out what shade you are. But if you don't happen to have that concealer or know your shade, you might have to do a little bit more digging. So this is all of those pictures laid out for you, so you can maybe get a more in-depth comparison between the different shades. But again, you're just going off of pictures, and depending on your screen color and that sort of thing, it may not help you all that much. So I also like to go to the product page on the brand website just to see if they have any additional information. And I don't believe they really do. They have that same arm swatch picture that Sephora had, and then they also have these model pictures. I do appreciate it when they have different models actually representing the products rather than just changing it in Photoshop, so I do like to give them credit for that. Okay, so if we scroll down on this page, it says Find My Match Foundation Finder. And I'll try to quickly go through this process. Again, it's one of those things where it's not really specific to this foundation. So click here, Discover, and I would say I am probably very light, and I am neutral to cool, but probably more neutral. This is one of those instances where it'll direct you to different products beyond the foundation that you're interested in. So I'm just kind of putting in my preferences and seeing what pops up. So again, here we have Siberia, which is light with neutral balance of pink and yellow, Mont Blanc light with pink, or Gobi light with yellow. So it says there's more than one shade that may be best for you. Please choose from these shades. So again, you're still kind of choosing, and this directs me to the Sheer Glow foundation, probably based on what I said about being dry. But anyway, that may not give you exactly what you want. Okay, so going back to the Sephora website, as you can see here, it says this is a match for me, the Mont Blanc Light 2. So it says this is your Color IQ skin tone match. Well, what does that mean? So this pops up because I am currently logged into my account, but if you have no idea what your Color IQ skin tone match, you have to figure that out to add it to your account. So the way to do that is go to Makeup and Foundation, and then up here it will say Need shade suggestions, try Color IQ. So here it gives you an overview of the Sephora and Pantone Color IQ system. So what is Color IQ? Sephora's exclusive Color IQ is the first and only beauty service that scans the surface of your skin and assigns it a Color IQ number, which reveals scientifically precise lip, foundation, and concealer matches. I haven't found the lip shade suggester to be very helpful, but you might. But anyway, how does Color IQ work? It says traditional cameras take pictures using ambient lighting, but Sephora's handheld Color IQ device captures an image of your skin in complete darkness, allowing the tool to focus on skin's physiology and eliminate variables that can distort shade selection. So basically, you go into a Sephora store and you ask to be color matched, and they will take out this device and remove any foundation that you currently have on and hold it to, I believe, 3 places, your forehead, your cheek, and your neck or jawline, I believe, just to get kind of an overview of places on your face where there might be some variation. And then it spits out a number, which would be one of these. So these are the Pantone skin tone shades, and I will go into more depth in a little bit describing kind of how this chart works. So it says, want to get matched? Visit a store to discover your perfect lip, foundation, concealer matches. Already have a match? Save your Color IQ number to your account, and then it will show up like on that page with your match if you have one. So I happen to know that my shade is 1R03, and once I put in that number, it will show me all the foundations and concealers that match that particular number. So you can sort and filter however you like. And I'm going to do the newest foundations. So here we have the product that we're interested in, the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And again, it shows me here that my match is Mont Blanc, is a match for 1R03. But say either I want a lighter shade because I'm going into winter and I was matched during the summer, or vice versa, I was matched during the winter and I want a summer shade. I can go one shade lighter, which would be 1R02. So if we click on that, we see all the foundations that match that product. The NARS foundation doesn't appear to be on this list. Or we could go one shade darker, which is 1R04. Interestingly, we have the new Marc Jacobs foundation, but I don't see the NARS foundation there either. So we'll discuss what to do in that instance in a little bit, but for now, let's go back to 1R03. So that assumes that you actually know what your match is based on getting the number in store. But if you don't have that number, if you're not near Sephora and you don't have that capability, then you can go to this little drop down. So it says, don't have a color IQ number yet. Find your foundation, concealer, and lip shade match. Start with what you currently wear to find other product matches. So I happen to know in Clinique, go there. So it has the various Clinique products. And I would say that if you can, the best way to do this is to go with a foundation line that Sephora sells. I think they do have some categories here like MAC that they don't sell, but I found this process to be a little bit easier if you go with a product that Sephora does carry. So in the Clinique foundation, I'm going to go with Super Balanced. I was matched at a Clinique counter back in the day. So I'm going to go with Breeze, which is the foundation shade that I have. And voila, it is 1R03. So this is a way to find out your color IQ number if you aren't able to get to a Sephora and find your color IQ number that way. Okay, so like I said earlier, you can show one shade lighter or one shade darker if you don't have a match in the exact right shade. You can go one shade lighter or darker. But I'm going to show you how to find a good shade match even if you don't have a match for any of these three numbers here. So I created a PowerPoint to help you through that process. This is the same Pantone and Sephora Color IQ chart that I showed you on their website. So I've annotated it so that I can break it down for you and kind of describe what's going on. So all of these numbers are basically two parts. There is a number and then a letter and then another number here. So you look at it as 3Y being the first half and 04 being the second half. And 3Y means that it's on this side of the chart. All of these numbers here are Y's, and all of the ones over here are R's. And I drew a line down the middle to indicate basically the most neutral area of this chart. So the closer the number is to this line, the more neutral it is. The farther away on the right side, the more yellow toned it is, or warm toned. And the farther away on the left side, the more red toned or cool toned it is. So Y stands for yellow and R stands for red. And it goes from 1 to 5 is the maximum. Not all of these possibilities, I guess, are filled in. So I guess they just decided that in all likelihood no one would be that shade. And then the second half of this number is on a scale from 1 to 15, 1 being the lightest and 15 being the darkest. And again, they don't have the complete possibilities filled out here. So going back to 3Y04 here, that means it is 3 over into the yellow area of the chart from this more neutral line, and it is 4 down from the top in terms of how dark it is. So this is kind of a more, I guess, light to medium warm-toned shade. Okay, so here I've laid out all of the foundations from this NARS line onto this chart. So here, for example, Gobi is 4Y02, Salzburg is 2Y03. This is the shade I am over here. 1R03 is Mont Blanc. And this kind of gets to what I was talking about earlier. Like, for example, 1Y03. If you were to put that number in on the Sephora website, you wouldn't have a shade option for 1Y02 and you wouldn't have a shade option for 1Y04. You would have, however, the ability to go either slightly cooler and pick 1R03 or slightly warmer and choose 2Y03. So if you are this particular color IQ number, you might want to look at either Mont Blanc or Salzburg. So here's the same chart, and something I started doing a couple of videos ago was to look up what undertones the Sephora or brand website say that a foundation has and to map it onto this chart. So the difference between peach and pink is somewhat difficult to see, but if you look at these two, you can see that I think this is the only light peach shade, and then these are both pink. But I think all the other colors are pretty easy to see. So again, this is the, I guess, line of neutrality, if you will, the most neutral part of the chart. So the white circles are neutral, what the Sephora website indicates as neutral shades, and I always find this interesting because I think you can really see here the discrepancy between how a shade is described on the website versus how it comes out on this chart. So this neutral shade, Deauville, is I think 4Y04. So to me, that's pretty far on the warm tone side of the chart. I wouldn't probably say that's a neutral shade in my opinion, but it is described as being neutral on the website. So I think this kind of demonstrates how valuable this kind of exercise can be in terms of really figuring out on a standard basis how a particular foundation works out. Pink, you would expect these to be on the cooler side, which they are. Red, also on the cooler side, I guess kind of an extension of pink shades and lighter colors, but on the deeper end. And then light peach we have here, it's pretty neutral. Peach to me, I would think it's more of a warm shade, but you can see in the actual peach shades, we have one over here, one over here. So that's kind of an extreme disparity to me. These are both pretty neutral. This one's over here. And as you might be able to tell, some of these circles have black outlines and some of them have different colors. So Sawhill, I believe, is described as medium with golden peachy. So you may not be able to tell exactly what that outer color is, but I just tried to indicate that it was something other than pure peach here. Here are the golden shades. This one is pretty warm. This one is a lot cooler, so that seems to be a pretty big disparity. All the yellow shades are on the yellow side, which is good to see. Olive, this is pretty neutral, but you have olive over here. Brown, there's one here and one here, and then caramel is also kind of on both sides. So the takeaway from this slide is just to show you that take what the actual shade descriptions say with a grain of salt. I think by having a standardized system like the Sephora Color IQ, it gives you a better basis going forward to decide what your shade match will be in that actual foundation product. Even the same shade name across different foundations within the same brand may not actually be the same color. So I just want to give you as much information as I can to help you make an informed decision. Alright, so these are all the light shades like I showed you on the website, and I have the name here, and then I have what the, I guess, degree of light is. Light 1, light 2, light 2.5, etc. The description, fair with pink, light with pink, etc. And then I also included the color IQ number here. So this also helps to show you, for example, light 1 you would think as being lighter than light 2, but in actuality it's just a little bit more pink toned or cool toned. You also have here light 2.5 is 4R04, which you would think as being lighter than light 3, but they're really just on opposite sides of the spectrum. Gobi here is actually lighter than Yukon. So again, I just think it's good to remember that even though these types of numbers are helpful, they might be a little misleading. So those are all the light shades, and these are the medium shades. Again, you have here the cool tone shades are lower in number than the warm tone shades over here. And then we have the medium dark shades. And finally, the dark shades. Oh, and I just wanted to say something. I'm not going to get too political, but on the Sephora website, they do list this as being Nambia rather than Namibia. So I don't know if that's a typo or some sort of slip or what have you, but I did find that amusing. And one other thing I find helpful is to break it down by how many shades are cool, how many are warm, how many are in each category, just to give you a sense of the foundation as a whole. So some foundations tend to lean warm, some tend to lean cool. Here you can see there's a pretty good distribution on the warm side. On the more neutral side, there's also a pretty good distribution. There aren't very many very cool toned shades here. And again, this would be that neutral line down the middle. So I also like to show you the light to dark distribution. And here I'd say in the middle there's pretty good representation. Number 11 is actually surprisingly high in terms of light to dark here. Number 14 also pretty well represented. So they did do a good job of including a lot of shades for darker skin tones. So I applaud them for that. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you have any requests for future videos that you want me to do. I do have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk foundation video in the pipeline, so hopefully you should be seeing that one soon. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.